singing.
Oh, I'm not singing. I do comedy.
Oh, that's cool. Open mic. I had a open mic comedy night at the Brick one night.
Well, in an attempt to alleviate confusion,
I wasn't on the thing to
my
go,
mother
but
has
the guy
asked me to
started
stop referring to
stuff
him
me
as
in
my
the crowd.
stepdad. She said
And
that
I
not all
said something,
dreams
just
come
kidding
true.
around. And he said,
Not
a funny guy, here's a microphone. So I got up and I did a whole set, and everybody was dying laughing. I'm
Not
not a
all
comedian,
heroes wear capes.
but I got stories about my mom.
Please make some noise for a man that I look up to because he is a few inches taller than I am. HSJ That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Hey man, so I heard that you did come to a settlement with the Sam Kinison estate situation.
Yes, I did.
But then, like Jerry Seinfeld filed additional charges or something. There's some kind of a.
Yeah, but they're looking for his body now.
Oh, okay. That's crazy. All right.
We told Jerry Seinfeld to show up for an audition, and we haven't heard from him since. Weird. He said he was going to sue me. He disappeared. Did I forget to mention I come from an Italian family? So we have a birthday in the house. We have actually two. It's Jesse's and Alyssa, who's hiding over there. Now, you're wearing the birthday boa, and this reminded me of a story, so I wrote this. I just put the note on here just for you. I went to see No Doubt in concert 20 years ago, and Garbage opened up for them. And Shirley Manson comes out wearing this small but beautiful pink boa, and a guy in the audience has one that's exquisite like that. And she goes, yours is so much better than mine. Takes hers off, gives it to him, he gives the one he's wearing to her, and she wore that for the whole concert. And I'm up in the mezzanine going, I hate that guy. I want to be that guy so bad it's not fair. So, you ever, So 2 weeks ago, I told you guys I'm banned from urgent care and next care. I still am, because I went home after the show and emailed the woman that I was supposed to email, and they stopped when I stopped. What's going on over there?
She has birthday boas! Birthday boas!
Why don't I have one? Someone bring me one. I'll wear
Your
it.
birthday!
But I want to look pretty. I'm so pretty. Anyway, so I go to email the woman, and she gave me the wrong email. My God, this thing's heavy. Anyway, so you ever have a conversation with someone where your brain just hits Control Alt Delete and you go blank screen? So I'm talking to this guy because there was a problem with my auto pay with Public Storage. I escaped them, I went to CubeSmart, and Public Storage bought the CubeSmart I went to and didn't tell me. So I get a notification that there was a problem with my payment. And I'm like, all right, so I call the guy. And we settle everything, and he goes, all right, the payment should go through now. I'm like, all right, cool. He goes, is there anything I can help you with? I'm like, other than your ridiculous prices and upcharges, I don't think there's anything. He's like, yeah, I know, it sucks. I want to quit anyway, and hung up the phone. I'm like, did you see that? So I get a notification the following day, my payment still hasn't gone through. And I don't like missing my payments. I don't like being late on anything. I'll pay them early just to make sure. So I call the guy, same kid. I'm calling places, it's the same kid, and he picks up the phone, and we're going through everything. He's trying to figure it out. Right off the bat, I'm like, this is going to be a long conversation. So after an hour, we get the whole thing sorted. He's like, all right, I'm putting it through. I'm like, he goes, you should get an email. I'm like, haven't gotten an email. He goes, well, it should take a sec. I'm like, I've been on the phone with you for an hour. And he goes, well, you know, when people say a sec and they tell you I'll be there in a sec and they show up 3 hours later, I'm like, did you just really use that terminology? Explain to me with bill paying. I'll be there in a sec, 3 hours later. So I'm like, oh, whatever. And we continue, he goes, all right, well, it's gone through on my end. I'm like, okay, good. I'm like, good. So I'm like, I don't like missing payments. That can affect your credit, and I don't want to mess with it. He goes, wait, that's a thing? You can get bad credit? Now I'm trying to figure out, how old is this kid? Am I talking to some 14-year-old punk who's the only person in the office at Public Storage? Like, there's probably a guy locked up, like tied up in the closet. And he's like, I run public storage now. I hang up the phone, and due to the rules of the niche, I can't say exactly what I said, but I'll tell you the phrase that I screamed really loud in my living room started with the words, what the, you can figure out what the rest of the words were. So we did Monster Mania in Cherry Hill, New Jersey this weekend, and I had my first real physical old man moment. Because I love the cold. No, wait, hear me out, don't give me that look. I love the cold, but apparently my body doesn't like the cold anymore. Because, you can see I'm wearing my brace, my elbow's killing me, my knee's killing me, I rolled my ankle, so I'm gimping around all day on Friday, and then all of a sudden I'm noticing that my molar that I had a root canal in 2 years ago, I'm starting to get pain in it. I'm talking to a friend of mine who's a dentist. He said, oh yeah, if the dentist does it wrong, the nerve can grow back. I'm like, there's another $1,500 in 3 hours I'm gonna have to spend in agony in that damn chair again. But on Friday, I was the injured one. And Saturday, I woke up and everything felt all better. And I wasn't drinking. I also didn't have access to morphine or anything. I don't know, just magically, boom, I felt better. I'm like, thank you, God. But then on Sunday, Angela threw her back out. And we find out that she slipped the lumbar. She's okay though, obviously she's here, she's standing upright. We have a very good chiropractor, Dr. Sullivan and Carrie, if you need a back adjustment. So at this show, we met the girl who played the android in Megan. She is this big, and she's from New Zealand, and what a sweetheart. Absolutely she couldn't believe the popularity her movie had. I'm like, the movie was awesome and everyone wanted to meet her. So we talked to her. Like, for those of you who don't know me, my business, I make customized fangs, and when we meet the celebrities, we give them the pitch. She came to our booth. She's 12 years old. Makes that one scene in the movie where she's doing the hip gyrating a little dirty now. My whole thing is that, like, if someone that big came up to me holding the razor part of a paper cutter and started dancing, my last actions and noises on this earth would have been laughter as I got killed, because I couldn't. Someone's like, I'm gonna kill you. Jesse, you can take this back, it's tickling me. So she came to the booth, and she's 12 years old, so she didn't have all her adult teeth, so she couldn't get the fangs. So she bought one of our bears instead, so we appreciate that. We thank you. I don't know, she'll never see this, but who cares? So, we sell also little horror show teddy bears. Anyone here ever see the movie Evil Dead?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So, you know, there's regular Ash, and then when the Deadeye takes over him, and he's Evil Ash. So we have these little regular Ash bears, and we have Evil Ash bears. It gets really busy at the show, because I've been doing this show since 2009, so my product has a reputation. People want to buy it. So we have this new friend of ours working with us, Alex, and he sells an Evil Ash bear. So he writes in the book, and in the confusion, he puts Evil Ass. And we're not making fun of him. That is one of the funniest things that's ever happened in my booth. So from now on, every time we sell an Evil Ash bear, you write it down, Evil Ass. Because I did sit in my booth in my corner while making teeth, and I laughed for 10 minutes about that. Now going back to injuries, 24 years ago, oh God, I was almost in an underground wrestling federation. I was younger, thinner, more built. I know, hard to believe. And I was dating a girl, and her brother and a bunch of their friends, they were devising this whole underground wrestling federation. Fortunately, it didn't come to fruition, because I probably wouldn't be standing upright. I'd probably be in a wheelchair, because I would have broken everything. And here's the funny thing. I wasn't in the wrestling federation, but my body feels like I've been a wrestler for 24 years. You know, it's like I wake up every morning, it's like Frankenstein. Okay, I'm good. That's every morning. Gave me the trick microphone again. So there was a show called C2E2. Don't ask me what it stands for. The people that run New York Comic Con have this Chicago show, and that's what they call it. You ever see a portly old man fall down an escalator? This guy? Let me paint you a picture, Jim. This guy, he's a wide man, and I'm not making fun of that, but he's got all these bags with him. And he starts going up the escalator in the convention, and then you just see him turn and fall, and and you think when something horrible is happening, you're like, I should help this person. The guy's flailing his arms, so I'm like, how do I help him and not get hurt? So my friends and I, we're just standing watching this nightmare unfold. Oh, because he's not going any higher and he's not falling down. He's stuck in this one area. One person comes up, the guy tries to help him, he tries to grab him, keeps missing, he almost falls, and then you just see the guy like, and he walks away. Security walked by. They didn't help him. Finally, somehow, he caught his footing and went up on his elbow and his shoulder and went all the way up. We went up behind him because I want to see the end result. And I'm like, you okay? And he just looks at me and says, I can see why you fell. I also now know why no one helped him. Now, sales pitch. So I have three reactions that I love when little kids come to my booth. They just either and they start to cry, or they come around the corner and they got that big smile like, I just walked into Disneyland. Or they just like, my parents like this shit and I know. But I have a sales pitch for every single kid that comes by, and I just throw their parents right under their bus. I look at them and I'm like, remember, if mom and dad don't buy you something, they don't love you. You might be adopted. I said that once. The parents they hurt the kid. They slapped their hands over his ears so fast. Shh. And I'm like, what? And he goes, he's adopted. I'm like, so am I. You saw the look of horror on their face, just like a glimpse of like, this is what my child might turn into. Hey, you know what? At the time, I'm like, I'm in my 30s. I've never been arrested. I don't do drugs. I drink socially, and I own my own business. So shut up. They weren't impressed with that, and they walked away from the booth. Thirsty. Now at the show, the hotel restaurant decides to get fun with their menus, and they have like Silence of the Hams and Pinhead this and Friday the 13th chicken nuggets. But what they did this past weekend with their chicken wings, I don't think was really a good idea. They just went with bat wings. Every guy in the room just giggles a little bit. I just saw those notes going up in the flames. I don't know why. Now, any fans of the Golden Girls out there? That's it, one person? All right, cool. So Angela and I have been streaming the Golden Girls while we've been making product for the shows, and I figured out who has the creepiest line ever uttered in a Golden Girls episode. There's this 2-part episode where Blanche gets this ridiculous offer for the house. She's thinking about selling the house. It's a 2-part episode. Well, at the end of the second part, they're all like, well, we're always going to be together. Wherever we move, wherever we live, we're going to stay together. And when we get into the old folks' home, we're going to stay together. And one of them goes, what happens when there's only one of us left? Betty White said that. She was the last one alive out of all 4 of them. That's kind of creepy. See, they agree with me. I'm screwing up all my notes tonight. All right, so I wrote a list, because this is a short list, because I literally wrote this an hour and a half before I got here. And Mavric likes when I do lists, so 2 weeks ago I did things that are cool about getting old. Writing that list was really difficult. This one was a lot easier. Things that suck about getting old. And I know, for everyone who's older than 45, I'm 45, but I started falling apart in my 20s, all right? So bear with me. I also hand wrote these notes, that's why I don't know where everything is. So 1, when you realize that you say to someone, you think to yourself after dealing with someone, what a nice young man or young lady, and you're like, oh, I just thought that. Thank you for laughing, Angela. When it dawns on you that someone is flirting with you and you're like, I'm old enough to be their father. Shut up, Angela. Shut up, my girlfriend's 27. I love you so much. When things start to hurt for no reason. Again, that happened to me when I was young. Another one on the list. When you hurt yourself sleeping. I did that when I was 26. I don't know what I did to my neck. When you say things like, please shoot me, and part of you really means it. When you realize James Hetfield is almost 60. Right, yeah. How about this one? Mavric Rose is 63. Don't worry, when you reach 63, Maverick, you're gonna look way better than Mavric Rose. He looks like someone put silly putty on their knee and dressed him up as a glam rocker. All right, this one's a little gross, but all the men in the room will understand what I mean by this. Taking a shit is an excuse to take a break or just get away from people. Still something I did when I was young too. When you realize people born in the year 2000 are 23. When were you born?
I'm 7.
Okay. I like you. When your chest hurts and you have an 80s sitcom flashback. I'm coming, Elizabeth! I did that joke for Angela earlier to run my notes, and she looked at me and goes, who's Elizabeth? I'm like, come on, Red Fox. You think about, I really need to write a will. And the thing funny about me writing a will is I have 2 snakes, and one of them is going to outlive me because the boa can live up to 65 years, and when I got him, he was only 3 years old, so I'm 45. He's definitely outliving me. God, I hope he outlives me. But the kind of asshole I am is, whoever I'm friends with, when I write the will and I know they're terrified of snakes, guess who's getting left? The snakes. When you realize, wow, so many of my heroes are dead, that's really depressing. But then you realize, then you get excited when you realize, like, wow, he's still alive? Because in like 2001, Iron Maiden came out with an album, and I was all excited, and I called my mother because I saw it at work, because I used to work at Barnes & Noble. My mom's reaction was like, they're still alive? I'm like, I got in trouble for what I said, because I'm like, Mom, they're younger than you. Due to the rules of the niche, I am not allowed to say what my mother said, but it ended with you and had a 4-letter word in front of it. When hangovers start to take longer than a day to recover from, I had a 5-day hangover in my 20s, so again, I've just been old for a very long time. And I decided to end on a happier note. When you do something so incredibly stupid, and you wake up the next day and go, wow, I'm still here. Or you reach an age where you wake up each morning and you're like, I'm still in the game. Guys, my name is Andrew. I'm HSJ Jack. Thank you very much. Brad Williams is coming up after me.
Make some noise for HSJ Jack out there.